Hello and welcome to the Boys in the Bus podcast. I'm your host Terry. I'm joined by the gaffer Phil McGinley. It's Kilmarnock 2, it's Celtic 3. The defibrillator up in the corner used to be reserved for podcasts whenever Conor joined us. I think it just needs to sit there from now on. I really struggled during the week, Phil, on the show that I was on with Paul, and it was great to see Paul and meet him again after a few years and have a chat with him. And he talked about how that Oxlade-Chamberlain winner that night might be the golden moment in the season. That's probably been surpassed already with another golden moment and one of the greatest goal celebrations I've ever seen in my life. I just don't know, Phil, if I am going to be here by the time this season finishes. I promised the wife there'd be no pints today. I've had to sneak a couple in here. If she's watching, I'm going to get absolutely killed. How the hell are you?
Just another day at the office with Celtic in this crazy season. Another non-eventful, boring day. Yeah, another game with nothing to talk about. Far from it. It's just been just another wild one again. Half time, depths of despair. Just like, how do we dig ourselves out of this? And then second half, Martin O'Neill magic again. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's saying to the players, it's 3 games in a row now. Deep into stoppage time, getting a goal, and it's just can't write this team off at all at this stage. It is as bad and as brutal as they are to watch at times. Just something going on with this team right now, where they're just finding a way to scrape through everyone. And it should be an interesting one to talk about, certainly.
Phil, there's no feeling like a last kick of the ball winner. There just isn't, and it doesn't erase everything that went before. And we'll go through all of that, and we'll go through a first half that was just blatantly unacceptable. But there is absolutely no feeling like a last minute winner. I mean, I jumped about this place. I've basically had no voice for the last hour. I just hope my voice would come back. Like my kids don't really support Celtic. They like Celtic to win because it makes me happy. But for whatever reason, and I don't even want to get down this road. They're not really interested in Scottish football, and that's fine. That's up to them. But where I'm at now is a shed 30 yards from the actual house. And my sons were in the room on the opposite side of the house and heard me screaming. And the 2 oldest sons came running down to see if I was okay, because they could hear, all they heard was screaming from way down at the garden in a place that should virtually be soundproof with all the insulation that's in it. And it was just a moment of euphoria. I'm jumping about the place like mad. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And that's 3 times in a week we've been getting all like this. Do you know what I mean? And as much as we've really, really struggled in these last 3 games, just that buzz of getting those late goals, it's unbelievable. Now, I'm hoping for just a few times before now and the end of the season, we maybe just get a routine 2 or 3-0, a routine 2 or 3-0 that you don't have to get too wound up about. But my God, what a feeling! What a feeling! With 48 in the chat, there will be lots of other things that people are interested in this afternoon. There's a big match which is on the other side of my shoulder there. Hearts currently lead 2-1 at Ibrox. I was saying to you before I came on, I just feel so conflicted watching that game. I don't want any of them to do anything. I just want the 2 teams to kick the living shit out of each other, and 0-0 draw would have been the preference, and maybe suspensions and boys pick up a win and knocks and stuff. But it looks as if it could be a slobber knock or 2. I just cannot bring myself, even though I want the game to finish a draw, I just cannot bring myself to want Rangers to score a goal. I thought I could.
I referenced you on Friday night, because I remember you saying on a post-match show months ago, saying there may come a time at some point this season where we need Rangers to do as a turn, and it's like, what a horrible feeling. But here we are, when it's like, what is the best result today? A draw?
I know. I think we just have to let the cards fall on that one, Phil. The main thing was getting the job done ourselves. Whatever happens there, there's a positive outlook. Whatever happens there, you can put a positive slant on it. Let's just let them, as I say, hopefully kick the living daylights out of each other.
Yeah, man.
And again, I can't help think when it comes to the split, Rangers have to come to us, then they have to go to Tynecastle. If they're already gone by the time that comes round, do they really go to Tynecastle and try to get a win that might hand Celtic the title? What do the guys that are pulling the fixtures through? What do they do when the split comes round? I think it's difficult not to look further down the line, but there's just so much going on in the here and now, in the present. It's just game by game. It's day by day. And we will try and pick the bones of this one. So like I said, that game's on. I'm sure there will be Celtic fans watching that. There's loads and loads of pods have jumped on just with the feel-good factor, and that is absolutely fine. I'm sure the numbers will pick up as we go along. Anyone that's there, thank you very, very much. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit that bell. I think we're roaring towards 2,000 subscribers, which is brilliant in reasonably short space of time. What do I say? Hit the bell. The old $1.99 subscription doesn't get anything extra because all of our shows are free, but it just does help Phil keep churning out the shows and keep a little bit of diesel in the tank. Let's see. Where do we go, Phil? Where do
you want to start with that one? Where do you want to start?
I know. I think, well, we'll start where we normally start. Let's try and apply a bit of structure and go with the old lineup. So this was today's lineup. Oh, actually, I want to share this. You sent me through this just earlier, and I really liked it. It was a quote from Fergus McCann. Being a Celtic supporter is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. But I'll tell you what, it was not easy today, but how worthwhile does it feel now?
I've definitely thrown that quote out there a few times this season on like Friday night shows. I've definitely quoted that one because, it has been one of those seasons where we're flying by the seat of our pants, but what a feeling when you do just scrape by. It's like, it was hard to watch, but hey, it was worth it in the end.
Okay, starting lineup.
Yes.
Standard back four. I thought Srirachi was good, but I thought Tierney would come back in again. That was as expected. The elephant in the room is probably Hatate. He's the one been getting a lot of stick. I've been one trying to fight his corner. Martin O'Neill, obviously. I mean, here's the thing. In Martin we trust is what all the supporters say, but is it in Martin we trust apart from the fact he picks Hatate? Front three, there was a change, very notable change. Junior Adamu comes in and Svanchara drops to the bench, and also Tanecki dropped to the bench. I think we have to look at the lineup without the hindsight of the results. So how did you feel when you seen that lineup? I didn't have a massive issue, I suppose, with Adamu. I thought it was a little bit strange that Tanecki didn't start. And I think in this last week, and again, obviously today, but that's in hindsight, he's been the guy more than anybody has pulled us out of these holes. It was him that set up the equalizer against Dundee. It was him that scored the winner against Dundee. It was him that set up Oxlade-Chamberlain during the week. I hope Martin has a think about the influence that this lad's having on the team. I think going forward, Tanecki has to play. He has to play. If he's fit, he has to play. Even when he's had quiet spells, and I'm a real fan of him. I genuinely have to say I'm a real fan of him, and I've stuck up for him blindly when he was not having a good time. And he's inconsistent. And I've always said, if he was consistent and he was getting the goals and getting the assists all the time, we wouldn't have been able to get him. And I still stand with that view. But at the minute, he looks like our best option. He looked like our best option at the start of the season under Brendan Rodgers when we were playing absolutely shit. But he was the shining light. And I just think he gets us up the pitch, Phil. Sometimes it's just with his dribbling and his desire just to take his man on. We've got too many wingers at this club that are too happy to just turn back inside and retain possession. And no matter how much flack he's taken, no matter how poor a game he's having or otherwise, when he gets the ball, he wants to take his man up. He faces him up and he takes him on. And I just think in a game like today, and it turned out in that first half, we just couldn't get out. We were really, really struggling. I would have had him on. I think he has to start going forward. Hitati, I now think Martin does have to seriously think about what we do. Engels being out is a problem. I had to think about that today on the long-term injury list. You've now got Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Engels. That's 30 million's worth of players that would be in your first team. But what was your thoughts with the lineup? Obviously, we know how the game played out, but when you've seen that lineup go up, how are you feeling?
Yeah, Hitati is the obvious one. I think we've all said enough on his situation, because Friday night talking to Liam, I just feel like with Hitati right now, it's almost like the boy can't do right from wrong. He's getting in players' way, is making the wrong decision with every pass. If he has a shot at goal, it usually results in nothing. So Hitati's the obvious one that stood out. But with the Engels injury, was he going to play Oxlade-Chamberlain on the plastic pitch? I think he did okay for the half, but that he was on. But obviously, again, hindsight being a wonderful thing. At the time, you don't know this going into the game because of the risk for the plastic pitch and Oxlade-Chamberlain's injuries. But the other one that did stand out is obviously Tenecti not starting. Now, you could have took either of the wingers out for me in terms of that way, Maeda as well, or Yang, because whatever Martin O'Neill did in his first interim spell, where he got Yang to look like a player, that's regressed now. But Tenecti seems to be taking up that role because the numbers speak for themselves. What was one of the things we always pointed at about Tenecti this season is does a lot of flashy stuff, but his end product's been terrible. But in the last few weeks, the last week, he's obviously had 2 assists and a goal. So it's like he has to. Going into today's game, it's like surely he must be involved. And then today, obviously, stepped up and scored a very similar goal to what he did at Rugby Park just a few weeks ago when we played Auchinleck, from a similar angle at the same end of the ground. Just bent it in with that right foot. Early in the season when he was trying these types of things, it wasn't coming off. But to me, I think, you play the players that are in for him. Tenecti is in the run-up to this game was in for him. And as you said, taking hindsight out of it, the way the game did play out, though, it proved that he would have been the right choice in the end, because we needed a massive spark. Not even just a massive spark. We needed a full-on fire to get us going in that second half, because we were devoid of ideas and devoid of any attacking creativity. But the second half, obviously, it just instantly from the first few minutes, it just looked a lot more purposeful. And Tenecti was at the heart of that. So that was one that was definitely a big miss. And as I say, Hitati, we've all said enough on that one. The rest of the team, the Adamu thing for Vanchara is what it is, man. I mean, Vanchara's been fine so far. Adamu, I want to see what he's got. I think from the wee brief spells we've seen, he looks okay. So I don't think that was too big a risk or a choice. But obviously, Vanchara had quite an impact as well in the second half. Quite a few moments he was involved in, and we'll get to talk about that soon. But overall, say outside the Tenecti not getting a start for either of the 2 wingers, and Hitati starting, then it was as you'd expect.
I'm a wee bit different, Phil. Around Adama, I don't know if he's what we need. I know we got that goal last week against Dundee, but other than that moment, I've seen very, very little from him. I think what we needed to get in January was a centre forward who would come in and score 10 to 15 goals between now and the end of the season. And I don't think we've got that in any of them. However, I think Vanchara looks the better bet, because I think he gives us an option. You can fire the ball at him, not necessarily just high because of his height, but he's strong. He holds the ball up well. He brings other players in. He's got a turn of pace, and he got another assist today. He also got an assist at Tynecastle. I just feel he is the better bet. Do I think he's going to score those numbers that I want our centre forward to score? No, I don't think he is. But I think he's the best of a bunch that we've got at the minute. I mean, I look at Adamu. Is he really much better than Johnny Kenny? That I know it's early. I know I'm judging a guy. And today was his first start. I know, but I'm just going on what I see. And is he really what we need? I'm not so sure. But he's what we've got, and these are the guys that we've got between now and the end of the season. But I think, based on what we've seen Svanchara starts, Tanecki starts every game that they're fit for. I think that's the way it's going to have to be. Just on that point, Phil, and the commentators made a note. It's 2-2 there. Ibrox Rangers equalised about 5 minutes ago. What the commentator said before the game, Celtic are 28 goals down on the same time last season, and that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. And Celtic should have a Celtic centre forward should, in my mind, be hitting 20 every single season. 20 in a league campaign. That's a 1-2 record for a Celtic centre forward, where we dominate the play in the vast majority of games, create plenty of chances. A Celtic striker should be getting 20 every single season, and possibly 30, and some seasons 40. I mean, look back to Griffiths, and I mean, Lee Griffiths hit 40 in a season, and Lee Griffiths probably didn't bring an awful lot to the team other than he was just a really, really good finisher. Yep. And we're struggling this season. I was looking like Negron's our top goal scorer. He's not a striker. And we really, really lack a finisher in the middle. And go back to Tanecki again. A point I was making was people were looking at Tanecki's assists. And I'm going, well, he's not getting assists because the guys that he's crossing the ball over to, there's either nobody there to score, yep, or the guy that's there that is supposed to score isn't able to score. And it's an absolute gaping wound. I do like some parts of Svanchara's play. If he could start to find the net a bit more, then maybe he's maybe one that we look at to try and do something. But I just want us to go and get a centre forward that is nailed on to come in and do what a Celtic centre forward should do, and that's score goals.
I should, but I think we're at the stage now, Terry, where it's just like anybody in a Celtic shirt, just put the ball in the net. But I agree. I mean, if you've got a guy who you can rely on, then it is a massive, massive game changer. But yeah, right now we are just making it up as we go along. Obviously, Reegan, as I keep saying now, it's a sobering thought. If he didn't score the goals he has, where would we be? He scored another crucial one today. Ian McIntosh's comments actually a good one here. I brought up on his been for what was viewed as a poor transfer window. The new guys have kept us in the cup and the league. And if you actually look at the run of events in the last 2 weeks or so and look at the goal scorers, then yeah, they have actually. No, there's not been one that's been consistent, but they're all chipping in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, we're just sort of just making it up as we go along, just finding a way to get over the line in each of these games.
Phil, we're nearly 20 in. We haven't really touched on the game.
I know.
Let's do that. Let's go through this this first half.
Oh God.
Let's see. Kelly had a bit of a penalty shout about 5 minutes in. The player was looking for it, and thankfully it wasn't given. But we went behind. We fell behind 20 minutes into the game. Weak, very weak. Trusty is at fault out on the right-hand side. Scales doesn't do enough out on the right-hand side. Why are both of them drawn over to that side of the pitch? The Kelly guy gets a bit of luck. What was his name? It's like a double barrel surname.
John Jules. He's actually Danny John Jules' nephew, who was in Red Dwarf. He played the cat in Red Dwarf as well. He's Danny Jules. Tyrese John Jules. There you go.
So he's a guy who scored a hat-trick during the week, but Austin Trusty thought it would be a good idea to let him get onto his strong side and fire the ball into the back of our net. I thought it was very, very poor defending. I'm not Trusty's biggest fan. I've never been. He's had some really good performances when we've been defending our penalty box to a lot of high balls and stuff like that. But he's not for me. He's not for me again. It's him and Scales at the minute, and that's the best that we've got. And we probably will be we'd probably be in the shit if we lost either one of them, because I don't want Dane Murray. I don't want to see Dane Murray the rest of the season. And we've got the lad from Brentford, and that's a strange one because he was on the bench during the week and Murray wasn't there. Now Murray was on the bench and the lad from Brentford wasn't there. But these are the two that we're stuck with. But I just can't be having Trusty. he's just not for me. But I thought he was very, very poor for that goal.
There's another player in that sequence of events that you didn't pick up on as well. See if you rewind about 10 seconds before the boy bent it into the corner. Yang is going for a loose ball, and you see that he pulls out it. Him and the Kilmarnock player going for the same ball. It's there to be won. And again, you see, look at his body, just look at the body language. He's thinking about it, and then he slows down and he pulls back a wee bit, and Kilmarnock literally break from that. And the whole time I'm watching them go in the park, I'm like, we better not lose a goal from this, just the way we were sort of caught flat-footed. And yeah, then the boy just gets on his stronger foot. Trusty doesn't close him down well enough. A bit similar going to a goal we lost to Rangers a few years ago, where they bent one in from out wide, where Yang just didn't close down, and you just give the guy too much space to get on the stronger foot. It was Matondo that scored that goal that day, but obviously his one was right up the top corner. But again, you're allowing them to get on the stronger foot, to pick their spot and bend it around them. And see the whole sequence of events from Yang not having any conviction to go for that ball and leaving it, and then them just breaking in their Trusty Scales just getting drawn out of position and just allowing them all that time. And as you rightfully pointed out, the guy scored a hat-trick through the week, so he's buzzing with confidence right now. He is on top of the world. And yeah, they just decided to after that goes in, you're just like, it's going to be a long day, because up to that point we hadn't really threatened anything. A lot of possession again, a lot of bluster, but nothing in the final third again. And then we go 1-0 down. You're like, oh, here we go, how do we dig ourselves out of this one?
There's a bit of a scrimmage in the Kilmarnock penalty box. On another day, it falls nicely for Maida or Adama and the score, but didn't happen. And within a few minutes, we're 2 down. I think Trusty's weak again, but oh my goodness, what on earth was this guy doing again? What?
He's back again, Casper the Clown. He's had a good couple of weeks, and now suddenly this just came back again.
I've given him his dues. I've given him his flowers. He's made some good saves over the last couple of weeks. And Paul McFarlane asked me the question about Kasper Schmeichel, and I made a comment the other night that if I'd one game and I had to pick between him and Sinisalo to save my life, effectively, at the minute I would still go with Schmeichel, simply because he was making some good saves, and I just haven't seen enough of Sinisalo to say that he's any better than Schmeichel. But he made me look like a clown today, and he made himself look like a clown today. Do you know what it felt like, Phil? I've been trying to find an analogy. What did that look like? It was, and the best I can come up with, it was like your old granny trying to get out of your car, and she doesn't know which arm she wants to lead with. She doesn't know how she's going to get from A to B, which is in your car to outside the car, and she's going one way, she's going the other way, she's trying to move and she's not moving. That's all I can think about. And what the hell is he doing?
I don't know. I all moved in slow motion as well. It just felt like you were watching a car crash in slow motion, just the way it looked. And I think even the boy that scored it for Kelly probably wasn't expecting that outcome. His mentality when he's pretty much on the byline, heading it back across the goal, he's probably thinking, maybe there's somebody behind me that can get on the end of this. So he's probably just as shocked as anybody. But yeah, the way it just looped in. And when you see him diving, I know that you've pointed this out a few times about Schmeichel, about what arm he favours. So obviously the ball's looping over on this side. So as he dives, he reaches with this arm, his right arm. But would it not be his left arm that he should probably reach with, because the ball's coming in this direction? But anyway, he makes a complete smash of it. And again, 2-0 down. Just, again, how do you... At that point, you're just like... I said to my dad, watch, I went, this surely's over now, because we haven't done anything to threaten at all. Totally abject performance. They've scored with the only real 2 decent chances. As I say, decent chance. That second one was a total out of nothing, just a total fluke goal. And you just feel like, well, that's it. On another day, like, you look at the chain of events this season, Terry, where we've got ourselves in a position where we can capitalise. Like, you look at what Martin O'Neill did the first time around to get us back up there with Hearts. What we've got to do is beat them that day in December. We lose. Wilfred Nancy takes a blowtorch to the team and destroys it for a month. And then today we're like, right, we've still got a game in hand banked, but we're 6 points behind Hearts. We're just behind Rangers. They two are playing each other today. So something has to give between them as long as we go out there and do our job. and then you're 2-0 down, and with, say, the goals that we've lost and the performance of it so far, and you're just thinking that the universe is telling us that it's just destined that we are not going to get back into this, no matter what we do, no matter how close we get. We just keep on falling at the last hurdle with something stupid happens to us, and it just felt like that when that goal went in. I'm like, now, how on earth do we get ourselves out of this mess? And it was a total car crash to watch in real time.
I think now, Phil. Well, I still don't know if Sinisalo's a better option, but I think it now has to be a serious question just because of the amount of clangers this guy is dropping. Now, he has made really, really key saves, and that's the difference. I don't really remember Sinisalo, albeit his opportunities have been few and far between. I don't remember seeing a real proper save where I've gone, yeah, he looks like the real deal. But I think without looking too far ahead, I think we shake hands with Casper at the end of the season. We say, thank you, mate. First season was brilliant. Second season, hit and miss, but all the best with the future. Does that mean Sinisalo? Does that mean a new goalkeeper? There's going to have to be so much recruitment during the summer. But anyway, we had that today. To me, that just looks like, to me, if you go with your left hand, you just reach up and you catch the ball and you bring it into your chest. I don't know what he's doing. We've seen it so many times. To me, he's going with the wrong arm. There's been people in the chat before who seem to have a bit more of an insight in terms of goalkeeper coaching. I just don't get it. There's nobody will tell me that the right arm is the proper arm to go for with that. I just don't see it. It just cannot be. I
think at half time, Ely Barber had said again, as he tried to protect that shoulder injury. Which shoulder was it again that was injured? Because I've lost track.
It's the right one. If he was trying to protect his right one, surely he'd be going for it with his left. Yeah,
you would think so. Aye, because he's going to land on his left side anyway, so his right one would be protected in that sense anyway. So
yeah, I'm not sure where Ely was going with that one, to be honest. But anyway, of course, I'm very reactive. I'm wanting him subbed there and then to just get him off out of the way.
You're done.
Thought Kieran Tierney started to come into the game a little bit after that. He looked like potentially our best weapon. He found Yang with a cross from the left. Yang should have done better. There was a combination of goalkeeper and defender stopped it going in. There was another bit of a skirmish where Maida had a chance. He's kind of went for power when I think if he went for placement, it would have given us a better chance. Negrin has a spin and a shot which goes wide. And then the sort of best chance for us in the first half was Araujo popping up and taking a corner and finding Scales, and a glancing header goes just wide. It's notable that Tierney and now Araujo are starting to get involved in the corners. That's definitely something that's been worked on over the last few weeks, because previously it was Engels, if he was on the pitch, basically taking everything. So those guys were getting involved. It was a really good cross from Araujo, and obviously he has a massive part to play in the game later on. But we go in at halftime 2-0. I'm despondent, but I'm still thinking, and this is just what I do, Phil, and this is how I've approached this scenario all through the years. I'm thinking, right, you break this down, there's 45 minutes left, you break it down, you need 3 goals, you break it into 3 mini matches of 15 minutes. Can we get a goal in the first 15 minutes? Can we get another one in the second 15 minutes? And can we get another one in the last 15 minutes? And that's how my mind works in this situation. And he knew there had to be a change, and he's gone for change. He's gone big, and he has brought on 3 players at half time. He's brought on the Ox. He's brought on previously mentioned Netke, which was an absolute no-brainer. And he's brought on Svanchara, who, again, without very much in terms of goal output, has looked like a good option in terms of getting us up the pitch. And you could see it from the start, Phil. We were on the front foot at the start of the second half, be it and mostly through to Netke picking the ball up and running at them, or Svanchara, as he's done, getting the ball in, holding it up, bringing other players into play, which he does really, really well. And then you're hoping the Ox can produce a magic moment like he did the other night. One of his first plays in the game where he was dispossessed, and actually Kelly ended up hitting on the break, and it was a pretty weak shot that, again, Schmeichel should have just probably stood there and picked it up, but he ended up saving with his feet. But we did what I wanted us to do. We got a goal in the first 15 minutes, and it comes from said Taneke. And I might be wrong on this, you'll know straight away, but is that not the exact same goal at the exact same end that he scored against Augie Talbot at the exact same pitch 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Aye, it's the first thing I thought. I think. Aye, it's the first thing I thought when I saw it. I was like, that's quite weird. The universe works in mysterious ways, mate. But that was what was written in the stars for that to happen. But again, just you don't shoot, you don't score. It's such an easy thing to say, but so many of our players just don't. It opens up in front of them, and it's always an extra pass. Moving it sideways, keep trying to walk into the net. It's like sometimes you need somebody to just take charge and just have a shot at goal. And his confidence is up. I said earlier on, whatever Yang was doing in the first interim spell under Martin O'Neill has now transferred over to Taneke. He seems to be the winger with all the confidence. So, he's got that that end product now. He was lacking beforehand about goals and assists, so he's got the confidence to take it on. And he literally did it just a couple of weeks ago at the exact same end, exact same style of goal, and he's done it again. So fair play.
The question that was posed of him then though was, that's against a team from the 6th tier. Can you do it when the chips are down in a title race? Well, he did. And he did. It was.
Can you do it on a cold Sunday afternoon in Kilmarnock? And evidently he can. Yes.
Yeah, what a finish! What a hit! What a finish! See when he shaped to go at it, you just I don't know. I just had a feeling this could burst the net. And again, then I'm starting to tick boxes. I'm going right.
That's it.
That's the first one. We need another one now before the 75. If we get another one before 75, gives us 15 to go and get the job done. And we didn't have to wait that long. We waited another 8 minutes, and we've gone 2-2. At this point, James Forrest has come on for Maida. I think there's another question to be asked here. Is Forrest on one side and Taneke on the other? Is that our best bet going forward for the rest of this? And I know Forrest can't play game after game after game, but I mean, Yang strangely seemed to become a better player under Wilfred Nancy, but has dropped off a wee bit since. Maida's been lukewarm all season.
Yeah.
And Viku showed me enough in 45 that he's not going to play in that full part. Are we in a position again where James Forrest, to me, looks like potentially the best option on that side? Anyway, he's only on a couple of minutes. He hasn't done an awful lot, but it falls to another guy who's pulled us out of so many holes this season, our top scorer of the season, Benjamin Reegan. It's a bit of a strange one because we don't normally score from set pieces, but we very rarely score from long throw-ins. But Araujo throws it into the box. I think Svanchara challenges for it, but there's a bit of a mix-up. Kelly are trying to clear it. Ball's bobbling about the place, but Reegan does what Reegan does, and he finds himself in the right position at the right time and lashes the ball into the net. And we're 2-2, and we're 2-2 with a good half hour still to go. And at that point, I'm thinking, we've a great chance of getting the points here.
Yeah, I'm the exact same as you. I was watching it with my dad. I kept saying the same thing. So I had it broken into, if we get a goal before the hour, so 60 minutes, and then a goal before the 70 minutes, I was like, we've got every chance here. And yeah, obviously we did exactly that. We scored just before the 60 and before the 70. And Reegan, opportunist of the highest order, that's what he is. He always gets into the right places, and long throws are becoming fashionable again in football. It seems like they're back in, and if we've got somebody that can actually take one and cause a bit of carnage, then it's got to be utilised. I say a lot of stylish teams down in England are doing it now, so we may as well just try and just jump on the trend. And so many times I go to Celtic Park and watch us be very indecisive over a throw-in. Kieran Tierney will stand there for ages waiting for somebody to come close. They don't come close. He just continues standing there with the ball over his head. It's like, just throw the ball. But that one, that caused all sorts of carnage. And he was there, the right place, right time again. And we've talked about this a few times now about Reegan. Everything he seems to do outside the area is generally rubbish, but when it comes to it being inside the area, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. And fair play. He was there again, and exact same as you, with that length of time on the park, at that point, I was like, I know we're going to win it. But strangely enough, as I said to my dad, let's go for the 60, let's go for the 70. I also said to him as it was going on, I went, this is all shaping up for us to score another stoppage time winner. It's going to happen, isn't it? Because there's just something in the air right now. Because one thing that disappointed me a wee bit was after we got the second goal and we seemed to have all that momentum for the first 20 minutes of the second half, it was like we just regressed back into a shell again. And it was like we just didn't seem to have that buzz about us that we had to get to the equalizer. And then it was almost like we were sitting back and allowing Kelly to get back into the game and have wee moments of danger. But I did genuinely say it, and I said it to one of my mates on WhatsApp. I went, this is all building up for us to do it again and send the country into meltdown, which will come later tonight. And all the dust is settled on today's games. There'll be more playing till Celtic score again, chat, all that nonsense. But yeah, when we did score, I was quite confident we were going to go on and win it, which is mental because 20 minutes before that, from the depths of despair, I'm like, how do we even dig ourselves out of this hole? But at that point, I was like, I can see where this is going. We're going to win this now.
Yeah, there were two serious head injuries in the second half, and there was quite a lot of stoppage. And from that moment, Phil, again, you're wanting us to kick on because the first 15, 20 minutes of that second half had been really, really good, and we were in the ascendancy. And Killy had offered very, very little other than that one opportunity that I'd mentioned earlier. Shout out to my brother Barry there that made a comment about Svanchara. Yes, he was very, very involved in that winner. And a shout out to you, Barry, and your girlfriend Anna, who had a difficult week this week. But Phil, I agree with you. There was a bit of a lull.
Something in there just about Svanchara, just before something in there. What's he got to do to win a free kick? Because I know years ago, and this is funny because Chris Sutton was on commentary, and you'd think he would have had his 2 cents on this, but he didn't because he was an expert at backing into defenders. But I don't remember Chris Sutton ever backing into a defender and the defender literally bear hugging him to the ground, because there were two very distinct moments today where, okay, yeah, there is a case for he's backing in, he's trying to be a bit streetwise, but the defender's literally got his arms around him and pulls him to the ground, and the referee's like, play on. I'm like, what the hell's he got to do to win a free kick? Or in one case, it was in the box, so it's like, he's been wrestled to the ground. His arms are literally around him. You can't even deny it. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on Svanchara. I noticed that during the game.
There was one as well, Phil. Well, the jumper was the jersey, was getting completely pulled off his back as well. But to go back to my point, there was a bit of a lull then. Kelly kind of upped it again. They sparked back into life. I thought they had a really good chance then. Bit of a sitter for Robbie Dees at the back post, but he didn't score. Then there was another chance where Trusty misjudges the ball in the air. Really poor amateurish from Trusty. McGregor resurrects the situation, wins the ball, but the referee, Duncan Nicholson, again, one of these referees that seems to get Celtic games, and you're going, who's this guy? I've never seen him before. These young fellas, and he didn't have a bad game, to be honest. I think the only mistake that I can really think of is this one, where he gives a foul against Callum McGregor, he books Callum McGregor, he gives a free kick against Celtic in a dangerous situation when it wasn't a free kick. And we know what happens next then, because the big centre forward again smashes it against the bar, and Casper the Clown is running. He's running to go and grab the spare ball for a goal kick, and the ball bangs off the bloody bar. But here's a question for you, and I don't think it would have, but see if he had scored that, would VAR have gone back to look and see if the free kick was the right decision? I don't think it would.
No, it's outside the area. They only intervene on fouls awarded in the box and red cards. The only thing they'll intervene on outside of the penalty area is like a red card decision. But it's got to be a straight red. It can't be 2 yellows and a red for some reason. So even if you accident or basically book somebody they shouldn't have booked for the second time, they can't intervene on that. But for a straight red, they can. But they will only intervene on actual fouls in the box. So because that was outside the box, no, they wouldn't. I know there is talk about FIFA are looking to introduce in the World Cup this summer a few more rigorous checks like that for things like corners, goal kicks, free kicks outside the box, which is just going to lead to more disruption and more time getting wasted waiting around. But no, as it stands right now, no, they wouldn't have looked back on that at all, Terry, had he scored it.
And that would have been frustrating because that was a really, really poor decision by the referee. It was never a free kick in a million years, and it could so easily have ended up in the back of the Celtic net. But anyway, we got away with it. I was
delighted to see him go off because obviously he went off near the tail end of the game, and I was delighted to see the back of him because he was causing a few problems, that boy.
Yes, I agree with you. In hindsight, though, I would like him to have been available to play against some of the other teams that we're hoping to drop points here over his shoulder.
Yeah.
He looks like a lively one. He does. But anyway, Sriracha then came on for Kieran Tierney. Mm-hmm. Just love this wee guy. Just love his attitude. And Martin O'Neill's talked about his infectious enthusiasm. He's had a bit of a giggle that the only word he's ever said to him is yes. He just answers yes to absolutely everything. There's been a bit of a clamour this week, and Martin O'Neill's been pretty much the catalyst for us to sign this guy going forward. That's one for the summer. I personally think we would need a hamstring transplant for him before we invest any kind of dough into him. But anyway, that's for another day. He comes on, and he's involved in the winning goal. Before that, Taneke has a chance, a header at the back post. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen much of his, aerial prowess, but it still was a good chance, and he should have done better. You could see that he's probably trying to get it into the near post corner, where the textbook advice would have been for him to head it back across goal. And you've then got the chance of it going in itself or somebody else running in. But it doesn't happen. We have a couple of efforts then. McGregor has one that goes wide. Your eyes are on the clock. I'm always watching it, and I'm thinking, as long as there's 2 minutes left on that clock, I can see us getting something.
Yep.
But there wasn't. There was 45 seconds left on it. And it was the final play of the game. I'm talking through memory here, but I think it looked as if Taneke was going to take it, and then he looks and he sees Sriracha. And again, I might have the players wrong here, but this is how I remember it. And I remember thinking at the time, just fucking throw it in. There's only a few seconds left, and you're dicking about swapping throwers here. But I then think Taneke doesn't throw it. He gives it to Sriracha. Sriracha throws it, and Svanchara gets it, cuts himself to the byline, cuts it across. There's a little bit of a flick from one of the Killie defenders.
Yes, that's
crucial. Fallen. And we've been talking about how good this guy looks, Araujo. And the only thing that I have said, I need to see him adding to his game to make him look like a top player, is going forward, goals and assists. He's the guy it's fallen to. It's not falling on his right side, it's falling on his left side. But when that ball's fallen to him, I can just see the net's going to rip. And then when he hits it, lashes it in, absolutely lashes it in. I've just scribbled in large writing on my page. Yeah. And then you've just got the best goal celebration that you will ever see. He's halfway up the stand.
Yeah.
He's halfway up the stand. There's guys hugging him. There's guys kissing him. Half the Celtic team are in the stand as well. And he's the only one who gets the yellow card, which is common. He gets the yellow. Half the team were in the stand. There's guys taking photos of him. He comes down and he does his wee messy prayer thing that he does. He celebrates.
Dance with the fans in the stand.
Oh my goodness! And at this stage, my two boys have come down to see if I'm all right because they heard the screeches, and they're just watching it and they're just laughing at the goal celebration.
That's incredible.
I'm gonna override. I'm going to override Paul McFarlane from the other night with the Ox goal and the Ox celebrations. Yeah. I think if the job gets done, this is the one that you're going to watch back. The goal celebration was about 3 minutes. And the only thing you're hoping there at the end, because there should only really have been about 10 seconds left, you're hoping is he doesn't add 2 minutes on to compensate for the celebrations and everything. But what a moment, Phil. It's the third one we've had in a week. Most special. This was the most special. It was the absolute latest of late ones that we've had. Well, no, it's not, because the Dundee one was 3 seconds, but this one's just special. It's happened in the last couple of hours. It's fresh in the memory. What a moment! Absolutely buzzing.
It's the most special one till we probably do it again next week as well, because it just seems to be a running theme right now. And yeah, that'll probably be the thing that they will moan about. Oh, they should have added on more time because all the goal celebrations. That'll be the narrative probably spun in the media. But yeah, the celebration, said it very well. That's generally one of the best celebrations I've ever seen. This is, I know this saying gets said a lot, Terry. Right? I know it gets thrown out there, but this is a guy that seems to just get it. Like, sometimes a player will come in and they just resonate with the fans right away. The fans take to them. They just seem to understand the DNA of the club. They just seem, as I say, get it. And this guy, his attitude, Araujo, it just clicks. Everything right. And that goal, well, there's so many little things to appreciate about it as well, because one of the replays they showed was a camera that was mounted down at the sort of was the corner flag, and when you see it play out again, as soon as Van Chara gets in that ball, Araujo's he's out the area and he's sort of walking back the way, but he instantly comes to life because he senses something might happen here. And that sort of instinct in his head to get there to the right place, just in the event. And that wee tiny flick from the Kilmarnock player, because one of the Killie players sticks a leg out, and it just sets up so nicely for Araujo. That's what basically, that lays it off to him perfectly. But at the same time, he's running onto his weak foot. But my God, it's one of those, just make sure there's no doubt at all. Yes, your weaker foot, but my God, as I always say, a thunder bastard. He unleashed the fury with that one. Just lashed it into the net. And yeah, again, during the game, I'd said, I just felt this is building up to us doing it again. There's just something in the air with this Celtic team right now. It's ugly as hell to watch. It's hard to sit through at times, and it's no good for the heart. But you just felt like, we're going to do this. It's going to go very, very late, but we're going to do it. And what a way to win it, man. And the celebrations are incredible, absolutely incredible viewing. So, yeah, that one will live long in the memory. If we do end up winning this title in the end, then it's moments like that that will be replayed for years to come. Phenomenal, phenomenal moment, mate.
Speaking of celebrations, there are celebrations taking place over my shoulder. Rangers have scored to go 3-2 up against Hearts. Cross from the right-hand side, and a header from...
Is that a good thing for us or a bad thing for us? Because right now it means that Hearts, who are top of the league, do not go back to 6 points in front, and we will be 3 points behind them with a game in hand at Aberdeen in a couple of weeks. So I know it puts Rangers back in front of us a wee bit. Again, we've still got that game in hand sitting banked. But
I think there's still over half an hour to go.
Right.
I think what I want to do is just let that play out.
Yeah,
let
exactly.
that play out, and let's take the positive, whatever way it falls. I think there's more twists and turns in that game. But I'll tell you what is a good thing for Phil. It's a good thing for Scottish football and for Sky Sports on this weekend when there's no FA Cup games, that they've gone with a Super Sunday of Scottish football. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the Sky EPL stuff that they've bigged up really, really massively recently. I think there was a midweek night where they had 4 games, and I think they might have been showing them all simultaneously on different bits on different channels, and 3 of them were 0-0, and I think the other one was like 1-0 or something. And a lot of the stuff, the EPL now, virtually all the teams play all the exact same way, and a lot of the stuff that I see is just teams cancelling each other out and low scoring, boring games where it's just side to side possession. And today's been a real rip snorter of a day. And when there's no EPL happening, and we're prime time, and we, as in the collective Scottish Premier League, we're prime time on Sky. We've had a 3-2 win for Celtic coming from 2 down with ridiculous scenes at the end. We've now got a 3-2 with half an hour to go at Ibrox. It's been a great advert for Scottish football, you have to say.
I know there's definitely arguments for that, but sadly with Sky, it's only a case of they care about us when they need to care about us, as you rightly pointed out. They don't have the FA Cup coverage. It's TNT Sport and BBC, I think, are sharing the coverage this year. So, yeah, whenever there's an FA Cup weekend, Sky are like, oh, what will we do now? Oh, we'll give Scottish football around. So hopefully they start to show the league a wee bit more respect, because some of the stuff that they've done with the graphical glitches, where they get Dundee and Dundee United mixed up, and then there was one a few weeks ago where Stuart Kettlewell, when he gets sacked for Kilmarnock, the reporter was outside, and it was clearly outside Rugby Park, because it literally said behind him Kilmarnock Football Club, and the Sky Sports news ticket said Motherwell sack Stuart Kettlewell, so he's a former Motherwell manager, and it's like you can't even get that right, and it literally says behind the guy Kilmarnock Football Club. So it's like, yeah, it's that's the type of stuff you're up against with Sky. They only seem to care about Scottish football when they need to, because they don't have the FA Cup coverage.
But in terms of pure raw drama, there is nothing like it. There's nothing like it, and I love it. And I do watch games that don't involve Celtic, and some brilliant games. I watched Hearts and Hibs not so long ago, and it was a cracker 3-2. Some of the Dundee derbies are absolutely brilliant as well. Football to me is about magical moments and goals and drama, and you just get it week in, week out in Scottish football. And this season of all seasons, it's a great story. And right now, with 11 games to go, we've absolutely no idea where this title is.
I know that's it. I definitely think it's going to go down within the post-split fixtures. I think all three teams will still be in it. I think all three teams will still be fighting tooth and nail here going into the last 5 games. I
think it goes to last day, Phil, and it might even go to goal difference. And I'm on record as saying I can't see now how we win in goal difference. Could Martin O'Neill lose a third title on goal difference? That could be written there.
You know for certain, in the event it goes to the last day, when they do the post-split fixtures, they will ensure that all 3 teams are not 2 of them are playing each other. So you won't get a scenario where, say, Celtic are away at Hibs and Hearts and Rangers are playing each other or something. It'll be like, no, Hearts will be playing one team.
Why not?
Oh, that's fine. Ratings-wise they would, but
why
they
not try
will
and get a one-game shootout on TV for the Scottish Premier League. Why would you not do that?
They'll shy away from it. They'll make sure that the 3 teams are playing the other 3 teams in the top 6 on the last day to ensure there's no crossover there. But if it goes to the last day, Jesus Christ, it's going to be tough watching that.
Without looking too far ahead, I think the way it's going to play out is Celtic will have 2 home games, and that'll be against Hearts and Rangers, and away to the other 3. I'm guessing that's how it's going to. I don't know. That could be wrong.
That dynamic.
You think at that point it'll be. You think at that point it would be Hibs, Falkirk, and Motherwell away. That's 3 horrible away games, by the way.
Bad. Yeah, that's the thing. Is that over the years it's always just been quite simple for the SPFL when it comes to the post-split fixtures, because it's usually Celtic and Rangers, and it's like, well, one of them gets 3 home games, one gets 3 away games. But now you've got Hearts in the mix, so Hearts can obviously kick up a fuss and be like, hey, we're in this title race too. They might still be top when we go into the fixtures, so they've got to try and make it as fair as possible, because there's been many instances over the years since the split came in where not every single team gets to play 19 home games and 19 away games, but that's usually at the expense of a non-Glasgow team. It'll be like a Dundee or something like that. Just give them an extra away game. You know, just give them the extra away game, because it's all about the title and it's all about Celtic and Rangers, but now you've got a 3rd team as well. So I don't envy the person at the SPFL that needs to draw up the fixture list and the post-split, because I don't think they're going to please everybody on that one.
Let's see how that's a long way off at this stage. That's 2 months away. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge before then. Phil, I'm just going to look at the key players today. For me, it's the 3 that come on at half-time. Taneke, I think Taneke got man of the match in 45 minutes, and I think that says it all. And as I say, he's got to play. Svanchara, I thought he was key. He was key in that winner that we got, and I think he gives us that dimension that I talk about, where he protects the ball. He's big, he's strong, and he brings other players into play. I thought Oxlade-Chamberlain, whilst he didn't have the same influence of that magical moment the other night, I thought that one time where he got dispossessed apart, I thought he looked good. And I just think we need to get him. We need to hope that he is able to play 60 plus minutes. And I think if he is, he goes straight in now, and it's him in the first 11. And then it's a case of him, McGregor, they're the mainstays. and it's Negrin probably just for the goals that he gives you, and then it's after that is it Hatate, is it Bernardo, is it McKeown, does Engels come back? I think if the Ox is able to do 60, then you start him. You're starting from now. You absolutely do.
But he's got the midweek off because he can't play against Stuttgart. So I'll give him another week of recovery and then get him in against Hibs. I'll be fully expecting to see him start next week. It's at home. Hibs, who aren't one of the more like hammer thrower teams, you wouldn't expect like a lot of like the physicality and whatnot that you get with the lower down teams. Hibs usually play quite a nice brand of football, so I think it'll be quite an open game. So I think you get Oxlade-Chamberlain in against them next week. I would fully expect to see him start. Martin O'Neill, has he got a blind spot to Hatate right now? He needs to sort that blind spot because that is the type of player that will cost us results for some of the reckless stuff he does.
Yeah, what a substitution at halftime though. You can argue it the other way. Martin has to stand. He has to look at that team selection that he made. I think he admits it was wrong by taking the action at halftime, but at least he had the balls to go and take the action and bring those three guys on. That's the moment where the game was won, Phil, because the start of the second half, it's a completely different outlook with Taneke and Svenchara getting us up the pitch and the quality of Oxlade-Chamberlain. There's one more key player. I'm going to leave him for the last moment of the show, but there was I've got rid of something, Phil. I had another wee graphic there that I wanted to bring up. I've deleted it by mistake. Just let me grab it here if I can.
Is it this? Is it that?
And what?
I know who's the one you brought up. You were saying you've got one more you need to bring up, but
no. I was gonna let him take us out. I was gonna let him take us out at the end, but you've gone for him now.
I've gone early. I know.
Julian Araujo, what a moment! What a guy! Unbelievable. I'm gonna go once we get off here. I'm just gonna go and watch that moment back over and over and over on repeat. It's a cracking moment. When he came in on loan, it feels as if he's been around forever, Phil. And he was a January signing. Do you know what I mean?
He was a Wilfred Nancy era signing. He still counts as a Wilfred Nancy. He joined. Yep.
He was Wilfred Nancy's only signing.
Oh God, he was. Aye. There's a future pub quiz question. That one. Who was the only player Wilfred Nancy signed for Celtic?
For the club. The Ox can't play in the midweek game. So what we've got coming up, Phil, is I'll get it on the screen here. There we go. We now have Stuttgart at home on Thursday evening, Hibernian at home next Sunday. I don't have any issue with that. The fact that we're playing at home on the Sunday after not travelling on the midweek. So we get a break on Thursday night from the domestic stuff. We have an opportunity to get through to the next round of the Europa League. Very, very tough game against very, very tough opponents. We'll cross that bridge come Thursday night. It's a good game to come back to, home to Hibs. Obviously, it'd be a difficult game. I was there for the corresponding game this season where we drew 0-0 and we huffed and we puffed and it wasn't great. I would hope that we can get the job done against Hibs next Sunday. Then you're going into this key period of difficult away matches, and it's Stuttgart away on the Thursday, then Rangers away on the Sunday, and then Aberdeen away on the midweek. That's a very, very difficult run of fixtures, Phil, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's not going to get easy at all going in. Even after the Aberdeen game, is it Motherwell at home?
Motherwell are on the horizon, yeah.
And even though it's at Celtic Park, they gave us a scare back in September. We beat them 3-2 with a very late goal as well that day. And obviously they beat us at Fir Park. So they've got their own aspirations as well. And let's be honest, their manager is basically, Askew is having a job interview pretty much every day because he's trying to prove that, he's good enough to make a step up. He's a guy that a lot of fans are already talking about. Could he be a future Celtic manager? So it's games, if that's something that's maybe in his mind, thinking about that next step after Motherwell, he's going to come and he's going to look to beat us. So yeah, he's
a very
he's got them
difficult
playing. They're a difficult team. We can't bet off anybody. And I think, to be fair, Martin O'Neill did say in the presser, I think, through the week for the Livy game, saying we are in no position right now to take anybody lightly. As we've seen the last week, some of the struggles we've had against bottom of the league Livingston, second bottom of the league Kilmarnock, Dundee last week in the Cup. Yeah, we are genuinely in no position. So even when it's a home game and as good as and you think, okay, it's at home, we'll get through it. Teams like Motherwell and that coming, they've got their own agenda. Hibs next week will be difficult as well in its own right. And yeah, the Rangers games, we've obviously got the Cup game coming up too against them. Yeah, if we're going to win this, and my God, what a mountain we're going to have to overcome. But we're still there. We're still hanging in. Martin O'Neill's doing something right to just keep it ticking over. And yeah, we're not going away yet. If Rangers and Hearts think that we're just an afterthought right now in this, we're certainly not. We're making sure that they're paying attention to us, all these mad last-minute goals we keep getting. So it's far from over yet. And I agree with you, a lot of twists and turns still to come, Terry.
And Phil, as much as we've enjoyed the last 20 years of dominance and league championships that were over by October or Christmas at the latest, there is something very, very exciting about this. And every single game has got its own story to tell. Every single game means absolutely so much. Mm-hmm. The Europa League games, they're extra games that Hearts and Rangers aren't going to have. To me, it can go either way. It can help with momentum, or it's a pain in the ass and it's extra travel and extra miles on the legs of the players that you're hoping are going to get this job done. I think the approach is Thursday night, we just go strongest team. Let's see where the cards fall in that game. If we, like, say Stuttgart came to Celtic Park and won by a couple of goals, to me, when the second leg came round, I would be thinking about the domestic game after that.
Yeah, of course.
But if we're in a position where we can get through that tie, then you just go for it. You just go all out for it. And how many times have we said we want Celtic to make a dent in European competition? We've often said we're in the Champions League. If we were in the Europa, how far could we go? Well, we're in it now. Let's see how far we can go. It's great, and it's a game for Celtic every 3 or 4 days, every single week. And as a football fan, you just want to sit and watch your team play. And I'm more than happy for the games just to keep coming. And let's see where we end up. This season could go a few different ways. We could end up with absolutely nothing, which I sincerely hope doesn't happen. Or it could end up being absolutely wonderful. But every 3 or 4 days, you've now got a game to look forward to, and the highs and lows within that 90 minutes. And this is why you support a football team. If it was really easy all the time, there wouldn't be much crack in it. Do you know what I mean?
You got to take it off for this move. We have had it very good for long enough now, and we're in the trenches this season, but we're still very much in it. And whatever will be this season. Obviously, we hope that we can come through it. But it's dramatic to watch to the end. And right now, everything's just balanced on a knife edge. And yeah, who wants to even try and predict how this is going to end up? It's going to be a roller coaster, to say the least, Terry.
Okay, Phil. Let's hope for an equalizer from Hearts in the last what's left there. 17 minutes. I still want it to be a draw. I still think that's the best result for us. You prepare the outro. I'm just going to put this graphic up of the main man one more time. Julian Araujo. What a magical moment. What a day to be a Celtic fan. Hail, hail. Thank you to everyone who's joined us, and we will chat to you during the week, Thursday night. Thank you.
Right. Cheers, guys. See you then.